Hey guys, it's Samira here from Hobby Quest, and today we're going to be building the wind blade. This is a really cool plane. It's a 2D model, and you can see that we have all these different parts that we have to put together. So I'm going to place my wind blade aside, and I'm going to teach you how to build it from our kit. First, we're going to start off with our instruction sheet. This is this one, and here at the top of the page it says A. Now this page is a little kind of rolled into a ball, so I'm going to just straighten it out from the edge of my table to make it straight. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and cut out section A on this page of the instruction sheet. Now the instruction sheet is this side, and on the back of it you can see section A. So I'm going to continue cutting out section A over here. Now once I've cut it out, we have what section A looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little wooden piece, put some glue on it. I'm going to use my leftover instruction sheet as a kind of placemat so I don't get glue on the table. I'm going to apply some glue on it, and then I'm just going to stick it directly onto A1, so where the section goes. So A1, I'm going to stick it right in place. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sticks and I'm going to use them to fill in the rest of the spaces. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to differentiate what types of sticks we have. In our packet here, we have our propeller kit, which we'll leave to the side for later. We have our rubber band, which we'll leave for later. And we have 6 soft sticks, balsa sticks, and you can see these are soft, very flexible, break like that. And as well, we have our harder sticks. So this is the stick we're going to keep to the side. Make sure you know, you can tell the difference. It's hard, it's a little yellow in color. You're going to keep it to the side and use it for later. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to take our sticks and measure them accordingly to the different pieces from A4 to A6. So we start at A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, and A7. I'm going to take my stick and line it up as such. Next, I'm going to take my pen or pencil, either is fine, and mark it where the stick ends on the paper on our section A. Now, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut slowly, rotating the stick and then cutting each side. This helps it just break off easily. So now I'm going to take my glue, apply it to my piece of stick, then I'm going to put my stick onto the section where it says A2. Now I'm going to do the same thing for A3, A4, and A5. You always want to go in order of the numbers because A6 and A7 are smaller pieces. So you'll have excess of this wood to have for the extra pieces. Now I'm going to take my next stick and measure A3. And just cut, rotate, cut, all around. Now what we're going to do is apply some glue to the stick. And then continue doing so. Now you can see here that this part is a little bit slightly kind of angulated. So you want to cut the stick in kind of an angle to make it attach easier to the other stick, and that way it has an angle forming and the two sticks will form a junction like that. Now I'm going to continue with my stick A4, mark it, just cut it slightly, rotate it, cut it. If you need to do this twice, you can, and then this end should break off easily. Now I'm going to put some glue on my stick. And attach it. The next thing I'm going to do is measure A5 using my stick. Now again, A5 is kind of angulated, so you want to kind of cut this in an angle. So I'm going to just slightly cut in an angle. You can see it's kind of angulated, so that way it can fit straight. And I'm going to put some glue. I'm going to put it right on here. And now I need to do A6 and A7. So I have these leftover small pieces, which I'm going to use to fill in these middle pieces, instead of cutting a whole new stick. So I measured it. I'm going to just cut it, rotate it, cut, rotate, cut, rotate, cut. It's a little tougher, so I'm going to keep doing so, and then break it off. I'm going to apply some glue, put it down in the center, do the same thing for the other side. This is a little bigger, so I'm going to have to just cut a little bit. Cut, cut, rotate, rotate. There we go. Now we have this complete. So this is what it's going to look like. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your pen or your pencil, make a hole through where it says A8, this hole here, and in the middle. So it's going to be all the way this way and through the middle where it says A9. So it's going to look like this. You're going to do the same thing on this side and through the middle. So now that we have this section A done, we're going to put it aside, and now we're going to turn to our section B. Our section B involves our fuselage, our strong wooden stick, our hard stick. We're going to take the stick and line it up on image 4 on our instructions sheet, and we're going to mark with our pen where it says B. Now, once we mark it, we're going to keep it to the side, and we're going to continue on to section C and D. Section C and D are our wings. Here we have our wings. We're going to go to the next piece of paper. I'm just going to fold it in half. Now I'm going to cut on D all along. Now I'm cutting these sections out. These are the wings for our wind blanket. So I'm almost done cutting both of these out. Now at this time you can take colored pencils, crayons, or markers and just color your wings. Make them pretty, write your name on them. Make some cool designs. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sticks. We have some leftovers as well. And we're going to just measure. So you see this leftover is not big enough. So we're gonna need to use a different stick. We're gonna take our soft stick, line it up. Now make sure you're using the soft sticks at all times and that your hard stick is on the side away from any confusion. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut just like I did before. And there we go. Now I'm going to glue on my stick to my paper. Just apply some glue to the paper and glue the stick on. You know, if the stick does, you know, cut in an angle, that's okay, but you want to just make sure the stick is fully in place. Okay, I'm just gonna apply some glue so that it's all in place. So it's stuck to the paper. I'm gonna put that aside, and then I'm gonna do the next wing. I'm gonna measure out a piece of wood, put the wood down on the slit, measure it, now cut it with the scissors. Rotate, cut, and snap. Now we're gonna apply some glue. Now, once we've applied the glue, we're gonna put the stick right on that slot where the stick is supposed to go. So it looks like this. Now we're gonna wait a few minutes and for these to dry, and then we're gonna show you how to assemble the kit. So now we're gonna reinforce our part A, which we have made. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a paper and just cut a little piece out from our instruction sheet. But we're gonna leave our instructions intact and just use a little scrap paper. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of my white glue, put a little bit on this sheet of paper. Not too much, but just enough. And we're gonna take the glue, put it on our finger, just a little bit, as such, and reinforce all the junctions. So we're gonna put a little bit of glue where each of the wooden sticks meet, including this main part. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue at each of the junctions where they meet. You don't want to put too much because it will be too heavy on the flight of the plane. So I'm just going to attach a little piece here and there on all the junctions to reinforce it. And you don't want to put too little because then it won't stick and be sturdy. So now that I have put all my glue on my piece A, I'm going to put this aside to dry for 2 hours. Next, what I'm going to do is I have a pre-made piece A that's already dried and all set to go. We're going to take our stick B that we had drawn the letter before, it's the hard stick, and we're going to slide it into this spot right here. So we're sliding it right in to this line with the design part up. So it's going to look like this, as such. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to take our wings and we're going to take our glue stick. I'm going to apply some glue on this part of the stick of our piece A on the side. So now that I've applied some glue, I'm going to put this stick part into the top of this piece as such. So now we're connecting the wing to A. We're just lightly having it stick down on the glue, and we're going to also make sure that this stick is lined up with this stick so that they're all set to go. Next, we're going to flip it over, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the other wing. I'm going to apply some glue here. I'm going to take my wing, attach it right in, and then glue it right as such to the top. Next, what I want to do is I want to take my little glue piece of paper, put a little more glue on it in case I need it. So now I have a little blob of glue in front of me. I'm going to take one of my leftover sticks and use it as kind of like a paintbrush. I'm going to gently put a little bit of glue on this, and I'm going to stick both of these pieces together. So I'm going to take this piece, put a little bit of glue on the wing part, and then connect this main part. Now I'm going to do this on the top side, put a little bit of glue on the top side, And then I'm going to have the stick attached right on top. So you see, they're all parallel to each other. Now you can put a nice glue stick, bottle of glue, just to make sure that it's leveled and straight, and just to see that it's intact. Now again, you're going to let this dry for about 2 hours, and then it will be all set. It should look like this. Now I'm going to take my wind blade that we have completed, and I'm going to show you how we connect it. So I'm going to just disconnect the pieces, and we're going to show you how easy it is to assemble it. So here I have my dried wind blade, right? Just as we had created before. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open my propeller kit. I have my propeller kit here. I have the 2 propellers. I have this white hook. I have this clear rubber band and this other rubber band. And then I have a smaller white hook. I don't need the clear rubber band or this rubber band. They can be discarded. Now I'm going to take this end of the hook and apply it to my wind blade. So this is going to go at the bottom of it over here. It can go either this way or this way. Either way is fine. So I'm just going to slide it right on as such. Now I'm going to take my hook with the silver end and lightly just twist in my propellers as such. So one goes on one side, and you want to make sure that the little raised bump is in the circle indent on each side. So I'm just going to slowly push them in. Now you're going to take the silver hook and make sure that the silver hook is on the same side as the white hook. So you see the white hook is this way and the silver hook is also this way. They both have to be facing the same direction. So one is here and one is here, as seen. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our rubber band. We're going to put both ends together, and we're going to make a circle, put the ends together through the hole. Now what we're going to do next is attach this hook to the bottom. We're going to put the 2 pieces through the rubber band right through that hole we made. Now at the top we see that there's a small opening in the silver hook. We're going to take both ends of the rubber band and slide them through this opening. Now you're going to continue down. And it's going to attach to the hook. And there we have our wind blade. Now what you're going to do at this point is you're going to hold it and just turn the propellers in a clockwise fashion. Now you want to make double or triple knots. That'll make it fly higher and faster and harder and longer especially. So it'll be great. You know, see, we can start to get 1 knot, and we're getting a 2nd knot down here. We're going to make tons of those. You get double and triple knots, and that's even better. You'll fly even higher and faster. So now you can see we have a whole bunch of double knots. And make sure when you fly this plane, you don't fly it near any trees because it could get stuck in trees or break. And if this breaks at any point, you can just use some of the white glue that we used earlier to fix any of it. So as you can see, we have our double knots. You can even go further and do triple knots, which are even more tightly wound than this. And remember to wind and twist your propellers in a clockwise fashion. And here we have our completed wind blade. I hope you enjoyed building this plane. I'm going to show you how to fly it, and I hope you have a great quest.